so this is it. This is our STAP rider. Let's get into it. Is that everything? Okay. So, initial thoughts. Not an awful lot comes in here. One's through some flight stands, 2 bases, and your cardboard. Okay, so let's have a quick look at it and make sure everything's arrived. Okay, so the instructions are similar to what we've seen for the ATRT. Seem to be more a list of parts and showing you what some of the options look like when they're assembled. And that is it. Okay, so it looks like we'll have to make our way up, make our way along again. But that seems to be how things are being done. Luckily though, this seems like a very straightforward bit of kit, so I can't imagine there's going to be too much to be worried about there. B1's, yet again, having front and back parts of the head, so that's fun. But at least we know how to deal with those now. The model itself looks pretty cool. I'm actually quite looking forward to putting this together. That looks like it'll be fairly straightforward and should have some simplistic but nice attractive ways you can paint it, I'm sure. Okay then, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this together, we can have a look at it, and then we'll get into the cards. So this is all the cardboard you get inside the box. Your order token expected, no doubt due to Agile, why we've got so many dodge tokens. One aim, I can't work out for the life of me why we've got 5 surge tokens, but there you go. And we've got 2 health tokens, which makes perfect sense. So let's take a closer look at the card now itself. Okay then, so for 73 points, you get your Strap Rider, which is, like many of the speeds we've seen before, a 2 miniature. It's one of your support units. It's a repulsive vehicle, which is good for the things it ignores and things it can fly over and through. 3 health and no resilience value. So far it's quite similar in lots of ways to what you get with the Imperial speeders. It doesn't surge either way, so that's where it does differ, but it does have speed 3, which is always incredible to have and really nice to have that option. Its attack isn't too bad either, a 3 black attack, and that's per mini, so that's going to be rolling 6 black dice with critical 1 and fixed front. Okay, so fixed front, less of a big deal, but still not bad at all, and the attack dice is probably going to be more consistent than you would have got with, say, the Imperial speeders, which were like a double rainbow, so those whites were always high variance, but they did have surge to hit, so who knows how that'll be. And the only upgrade I've got is the comms upgrade. So let's have a quick look at the keywords. So Agile 1, this is probably their strength straight away. So after you perform a standard move, gain 1 dodge token. So this is the same keyword as we saw on the Tauntauns, and we all remember when they were still in vogue before they got hated out of the game for a bit, how amazing that was. You move, you get a dodge token. You move, you get a dodge token. Fantastic. So these guys are going to have a lot of that. Now this works nicely as well when you look at AI move, the next keyword. So unless you have the face of order token, your first action must be to move. So even in this regard, your first action must be to move and to take a dodge token, and then you can still shoot if you want to, or if you're not where you want to be, you can move again, gaining another dodge token. So I think it sounds great personally. I'm really all about this. I'm very, very pleased with the way they've kind of used keywords to flesh out this mini, so it does feel different. Okay, so next up, coordinate droid trooper vehicle. After you are issued an order, you may issue a friendly droid trooper or vehicle at range 1. So essentially it's the same kind of party trick you've seen all the way through droids thus far, excluding the B2s, where if you get an order you can then chain that down the line. However, this doesn't. This also includes other vehicles, so if you're running several straps or you're running anything else, this means you can chain that, which is great because that gives them that real nice party piece that comes with the droids, which is incredible activation control, which I really like. Cover 1, so when defending, improve your cover by 1. So not only do you have the aim token, a dodge token rather, you are going to be having light cover in almost every situation, which is great, or heavy cover if you're in light. So really nice. I think that's a nice thing to have and will help keep them in the game, given the fact that they don't have their surge table conversion to help them out. And lastly, speeder 1. So these things are going to have to do a compulsory maneuver. So let's just rewind right back to the start with Agile 1. So when you're given an order, your first thing will be to do a compulsory maneuver. After you perform a standard move, gain 1 dodge token. Bish bash bosh, there you go. Then you have your next one, which is AI move, which could be another move, another dodge token. So you are getting dodge tokens just going mad here. So this is going to be very difficult to kill unless you really make some kind of firm, hard advance with it. But really like what I'm seeing here so far, and I look forward to playing this on the table. And just to confirm, in case you were wondering, a standard move is a compulsory move, so you will get that dodge token when you do your speeder 1. So the only upgrade cards you get with this are comms upgrades, as you'd expect with a unit that only comes with a comms slot. So this is the one we've seen the most of. This is your HQ uplink, which is during your issue an order steps of the command phase, issue yourself an order instead, and then this will become spent. Next up are more newer card, the Link Targeting Array. For 5 points only, and for placement troopers or vehicles only, you gain targeted 1. After you are issued an order, gain 1 aim token. I really like this, and I think this is one of the best cards for keeping vehicles really relevant in the game. With the droid's perspective, with their ability to have things chained to them, I think this is really useful. I think you're going to get much more value out of this one if you've got something that can pass the order on to them, particularly given the fact that these the strap riders might be running in tandem. So if one gets an order, that passes another one on, and essentially you can be giving yourselves that increased accuracy, which is going to be really, really nice in a unit which is going to deliver a good amount of firepower, but will be limited by its lack of surges. And you get 2 command control array. Now I double checked the list, the part list that you get with this, and wanted to be certain that I hadn't got lucky and been given an extra card. Because as much as been great, that would have been great for me. I think it would have meant somebody else was missing one of theirs, so I would have gone searching to see if I could find somebody who needed one. Given the difficulties happening with some of the customer service elements with Asmodee at the moment, but luckily it does come with 2, which is really good, and I really appreciate FFG doing that because I don't think they really needed to. I don't think any of us would have necessarily expected them to have done this, but it is a good way to get hold of this, because if you're only going to be buying 1 or 2 of these boxes and you only play droids, well, you now have access to a good number of these cards. So let's look at the text instead of waffling. So this is for vehicles only, and when you use coordinate, you can issue orders to range 1 to 2 instead of range 1. So they've got built-in coordinate droid, trooper and vehicle. So essentially now these guys can be more spread out, and that's only 2 points. So personally, I think that is a really well costed, in fact it's really cheap costed card. So if you are going to be running these together, you know that you aren't going to want to run them dead close. You maybe want to move them around a little bit to give you more options. Here is a great way to make sure that you are not stuck to AI move, that you could, if you needed to, aim and fire, and this will give you the ability to do that more readily. So a great card. And this is what they're like fully assembled. In all fairness, very easy to put together, and a really pleasing bit of kit on the stand. Now, if it falls off the stand, it's only because I have to put the smallest amount of glue on it because I'm trying to position it. But what I've done here is I've put it at a bit of an angle. I just quite like how that moves. It does kind of give it the feel of moving through the air, which is what I wanted. But really nice, dead straightforward. Whilst the instructions might be online, you don't really need to go and get them. Really easy to do. We've done B1s a million times now, and everything else just needs a little bit of looking at for like half a second. But really easy. The only thing I'd say is the models. There's, there is choice with the arms. You can have one with his fist pumping in the air. That for me doesn't work for droids. I don't know what it is. I just don't think it makes sense. So I decided not to go with that. I was half tempted to rip off one of the arms that were pointing for one of my what they call the OM series battle droids or whatever they are, because I thought, well, at least that looks like a commanding type gesture. But I just went with the 2 straight arms in the end. But really nice. I'm very, very pleased. I think these will be nice to do. They'll be easy to paint. They look they very, very thematic. In terms of playing them on the board, I've only got 1 set. I think I would like to get myself another. I think that just seems like a nice way to play them, because they're not particularly well defended, given their relatively low health and no surge. However, with all those dodge tokens, who knows, they might just keep on living and people might just have to kind of pour a lot of fire into them to get some damage through. But a lot of fun to put together, very easy to put together. I think they should be fun to paint and easy to paint too, for that matter. And when they're flying around the table, I think at a glance, that will be the kind of thing that draws people into the game, because it looks just like what we saw and remember from the films. And whether or not you are a original trilogy person or you are a latter day, if that's an expression, latter day trilogy person, the prequel trilogy, these will have a visual appeal to you no matter what where you're coming from. Okay. And that's everything for these guys. Very simple to put together, very simple unit to play. I don't think there's anything hard to understand, so if you just like to play it and keep it simple and casual, these ones are right up your street. There's not going to be too much, oh, well, this works with this and that, yeah, works with this one, and this is how this works alongside there. It does what it says on the tin, and it should be dead straightforward to use. The only thing I would say is, it was just surprising, given the cost of the unit being the same as the ATRT, that when you opened it up, there was so kind of little in there. And if you've seen my ATRT video, you would have seen that whilst, you know, those two didn't have instructions, but there was an awful lot more in there. So it does feel like you are paying a premium for this, when realistically it's not a premium model in terms of what you get. But it is what it is, and I suppose they have a pricing model, and that's why they do things the way they do. Okay, hope you've enjoyed that. Please stick around, because there's more to come. Thanks very much. Bye for now.